A little bit later than we thought, but we are ready for some MLS Next Pro action on this Sunday evening. Match day 18, we come to you from SaberCat Stadium in Houston, Texas. It's Houston Dynamo 2 and Minnesota United FC2. I'm Josh Eastern. Thanks so much for being with us here on MLSNextPro.com. Looking forward to some good action here from Texas. And of course, as we look at where these teams stand coming into play today, 6th and 7th spot, two very evenly matched sides coming into play today, and a big opportunity to get a little bit closer to Whitecaps too for both of these teams in 5th spot at the end of day here today. And of course, the teams warming up before the game. Now, there were some weather delays. They got on the field a little bit later than we had thought they would have, but about a 30-minute delay was all that we are expecting it will be, as we are just about set to kick things off, as both teams are coming in off of wins and trying to keep that going here today. Two very evenly matched teams, as we mentioned, in the standings. Well, looking at today's starting lineups, of course, we'll start with Kenny Bundy's side for Houston Dynamo 2. Zeke Soto will lead the line. Xavier Valdez will be back in goal tonight. Of course, he came off that Goalie Wars performance last time out on Wednesday. And also, first-teamer Chase Gasper will feature at left back. Brooklyn Raines will be in the midfield as well. So some good talent on the field tonight for Houston as they get set to welcome in Minnesota United FC2. And a big chance for them to come on the road and try to get something out of this one today. Cameron Lacey, a few games removed from his hat trick against Portland Timbers 2. He gets to start at striker here tonight. Rodas and Fisher will provide the center back tandems, flanked by Paddleford and Marcus as the outside backs. A strong midfield as well, led by Rory O'Driscoll. That is the lineup today for Cameron Knowles, as we are just about set. Will also be Fred Emmings getting the start in goal here tonight for this Minnesota United FC2 side. That started last time out against LAFC2 in the 2-0 win over the side from LA. Handshakes here before we get things started today. Our referee is Melvin Rivas. It is a very warm evening tonight in Houston, Texas. Temperatures in the 90s. I suspect we'd have a hydration break in the first half. And it's Chase Gasper who is playing against his quote-unquote former club. Did spend 2019 to 2022 with Minnesota United, so some friendly faces on the other side, but he, of course, will be starting in orange tonight for Houston Dynamo 2. He has played now a handful of games with this Houston Dynamo 2 side. Going through their final paces here. Both teams just about set to go. Of course, we were delayed just a little bit due to some weather in the area, but that has since passed, and we are just about set to kick things off here tonight. Just waiting for both teams to take the field now. SaberCat Stadium is our site. Houston Dynamo 2 side just trying to get things going back in the right direction. 4 straight losses before that win last time out against North Texas. It was their longest losing streak in club history. And now they get the opportunity to try to make it 2 in a row. As for Minnesota United FC2, they have not beaten Houston Dynamo 2. They did lose 4-1 back on June 11th. Scored 2 goals all time against Houston. Those Those in blue set to go. Final words of encouragement in the huddle for Houston. Those in orange. And we can get this one underway tonight. Just about set to go. Only Jesse Kahn standing over the ball. We are just waiting on the whistle now of the referee, and we can get this one underway. 6 versus 7 in the MLS Next Pro Western Conference standings. There's the whistle, and we are underway tonight. SaberCat Stadium in Houston, Texas. Thanks so much for being with us. Houston Dynamo 2, Minnesota United FC 2. We talked with both coaches coming into play here tonight. We'll start on the Houston side. Kenny Bundy said about the North Texas game, very happy to grind that game out, especially down a man. It was just in the latter stages that they had to see it out, but they did get the job done. It was a 2-1 win. Gonzalez and LaFleur getting the 2 goals on the night. That was enough to see that one to the finish line past North Texas. Of course, a Texas rival for them as well. On the other side for Minnesota United FC2, got to talk to assistant Jeremy Hall this week. Great to hear his perspective. He said that game last week against LAFC2, a big win for the side against a really good team. He said they created a lot. They haven't necessarily been as clinical as maybe he would have liked in that final third, but he said the big focus as of late has been defensively. They have 5 clean sheets here in 2023, but 4 out of the last 5 games have been clean sheets for Minnesota after conceding multiple in 6 straight games. They've really locked things in defensively, and they are trying to grow from that now and keep that moving. It's always nice when you can have a pretty solid defensive core game in and game out. Have guys who have played together game in, game out as well. Chance to throw this in on the far side. On throw-in. Didn't quite connect with Soto. He's headed away. Lacey trying to play hold up. But Houston is able to win this back. Houston a year ago really hang their hat on defense and getting results at home. They were 10-0-1 at home, the only team who did not lose on their home fields. They haven't quite made this the same fortress, but they're coming forward here, trying to make something happen. It'll deflect the waiting arms of Fred Emmings. They come into play today right around 10th spot in the Western Conference in terms of home form. 3 wins, 4 losses, and a draw in their 8 previous home matches. Here's Kahn, he couldn't keep it. Reigns. And Rodriguez will turn this back to Alan Maples. Rodriguez again. Lampman, his pass deflected. Who will get onto this first? Maples does. He thumps it all the way downfield. Emmings will come out of his box and just send this out of play. Nervy moment there at the back. Fortunate deflection for Minnesota. Just didn't quite work out. They would have hoped. Again, Lampman all the way back to Xavier Valdez, Dominican Republic international. He's been the stalwart in goal this season for Houston. Minnesota looking to build forward and play that down the line. Really taken away on the far side. Eventually Houston does win it back. Kenny Bundy talking about how dangerous Minnesota can be in transition. He said there are areas to exploit this Minnesota side. He talked about just how many goals they have conceded so far here in 2023. Tied for 19th in terms of goals conceded a game, just a shade under 2 goals conceded per game. Go back to that stretch before this nice little clean sheet stretch that they've had. Conceded a lot of goals, and a lot of them were 4 goals at a time as well. Something that Houston can try to get after. I finished that up from Kenny Bundy about this Minnesota side. He said, we can't lose balls in wide positions because those are areas in which Minnesota can get it and go upfield quickly. It's a dangerous front line for this Minnesota side as well. Now it's Houston coming forward. Gasper trying to cut this back. And it's swept out of play. Be a throw-in. Gasper will get this back in here for Houston. Just over 6 minutes gone tonight. He was looking for right to Rodas, who clears it away. As far as Gray. Over the top once again. And again, too far for the run of Diego Gonzalez, team leader in goals with 7 this season. Joined this Houston Academy at 12 years old. He's now 20. He has been around the block with this Houston Dynamo club. Of course, teams in MLS, the first teams for both these clubs participating in Leagues Cup, but we look about a month from now for Houston, a chance to play in the U.S. Open Cup semifinal against Real Salt Lake. Big opportunity for this club to potentially get into a spot and lift a trophy. 2 wins to do that. While this Houston Dynamo 2 side trying to get back to the playoffs for a 2nd straight season here in MLS Next Pro. Of course, it was a heartbreaking defeat against Tacoma Defiance in the playoffs last season. But expanded playoffs this year, more opportunity. Playoffs are going to be a lot of fun here in 2023 in MLS Next Pro. Teams higher seeds picking their opponents. Stay tuned for that in the coming weeks and months. This comes towards the top of the area. Shot coming on. It did take a deflection out of play, and it's a corner kick coming for Dynamo 2. Good square ball right to the top of the area. It was a bouncing ball. Tough to get the control right on that. It's skied out of play. It's an opportunity now from the corner flag and first of the game. Diego Gonzalez to take. The outswinger lifted in. This is headed on, but Fred Emmings is there to make a comfortable save. First of the game for Emmings. down the near side. Marcus drops it off for O'Driscoll. Houston able to quickly win that back, and now they're looking upfield. Looking for that chip ball ahead for Zeke Soto, and cleared out of play. Soto, who has really fit in well with this Houston Dynamo side. The 16-year-old impressed at the CONCACAF Under-17 championships earlier this year with the United States Under-17, scoring a couple of goals. Still looking for his first MLS Next Pro goal. Soto with 12 starts so far this season. Pardon me, 12 appearances, 7 starts. And a decent amount of game time for the young striker. Here's Maples. Works it off to the far side. Papa Endoy. Gonna get by Devin Paddleford. Endoy couldn't do much with it. This is cleared away. Endoy with 4 goals so far this season, but he hasn't scored since Dynamo 2's 2-0 win over LAFC2 in their first game of the month of June. Now, it's been quite some time without a goal for Endoy. Looking to get back on the score sheet potentially here today. The foul against Houston will end the threat for the moment. Minnesota look to play out here. O'Driscoll. Jeremy Rodas on the far side. And using a bit too much space there was Devin Paddleford past the touchline, and the throw in back to Houston. Gonna let this run through. Now looking to cut it back. Again, couldn't keep it in play. There have been some matches already in the books today, or at least one. Crown Legacy, how about a 4-3 win over NYCFC2? A lot of goals in that one. And how about Colorado Rapids 2 and Austin FC 2? Austin led 3-0 at halftime all the way until the 58th minute. But Colorado has come back to equalize. It is now 3-3 in that game late on. Hoping for maybe some similar fireworks here today. A lot of goals so far. Orlando and Chicago also tied at 1 nearing halftime. So 2 more games on the docket today. In the Western Conference, San Jose and St. Louis, and LAFC and Tacoma. Switch the point of attack. Instead, it's turned over. Here's Jacob Evans. Evans trying to go low with the shot, and it's taken in by Emmings. Turnover in the middle. Evans leading the break. Fisher did well to step. Really limit the opportunity there. The shot from outside the area. It looks like it'll be a free kick coming here for Minnesota. Played over the top. Eway's onto it. This one cut back. Khan. Just slide that ahead. Sebastian Rodriguez, who will put this out of play for a throw-in. Is that going to be another giveaway? Britton Fisher won't let that happen. He did take a deflection on the way out, so it's a throw to Minnesota. The team's a little bit lazy in possession to start this one. Turned over again. And here comes Houston. Gonna play this ahead. Brooklyn Reigns tries to cut this one in. Soto lays it off, and it's cleared. He weighs onto it. Gasper stepping in defensively. O'Driscoll, was he tripped up? He was. Too much there from Diego Gonzalez. Minnesota want to get on with it quickly, but too quickly for the referee's liking. Down the line, just too far for Devin Paddleford. A bit of frustration there from the left back. We've mentioned some of the defensive issues for Minnesota United too. Over the last 5 games though, they've scored 8 goals, they've only conceded 2. When you go back to the previous 5, they scored 11, decent return, but they've conceded 18 goals. Something has really changed, and talking with Cameron Knowles a few weeks back, we'll get to that in a second as they come into the attack here. Looking to get the cross away, it deflects out. It'll be Minnesota's first corner kick coming. Good move there down the far side. Juan Mosquera trying to lead the charge. Was able to turn the corner, but too many orange shirts in the middle, and Rory O'Driscoll looks like we'll go over and take this corner kick. O'Driscoll delivers this one close to goal. A lot of traffic in there, and the referee does blow his whistle. It's a foul against Minnesota. Free kick will go Houston's direction. Just to finish up that thought, though, on Minnesota defensively, Cameron Knowles and Jeremy Hall just talked about small details, getting back to the basics being so important for this Minnesota United FC2 side to shore up those things defensively. Looks like they have over these last few weeks, and I feel like if they can really continue their strong defensive play, could really help them vault up the standings. We've seen what they've been able to do in terms of in the attack, averaging 2 goals a game. That's tied for 4th in all of MLS Next Pro. They can clean it up at the back. This is a team that can really make some noise. But first, some defending to do. Evans cuts it in. Reigns was cut off the ball. It's cleared away as far as Talon Maples. Controlling and advancing. And moving it out wide. Endoy, left-footed cross, took a deflection. And Minnesota able to get this away. On the ground again. And there is a whistle here. And this is against Minnesota. And a free kick will go Houston's way. Set piece chance here for Houston. They'll send some of their bigger bodies forward. Diego Gonzalez stands over it. Maples looked like he was running the wheel route there, but now he heads it back centrally. And this one will go the other direction. It looked like they were almost trying to set a screen for Maples. We'll see it again here. See him go all the way around, and a lot of orange shirts in there just trying to shield the blue shirts from getting around Maples. And there's too much though from Maples. Hands on the defender. Go back the other direction. It was interesting. I remember a story from World Cup a few years ago with England manager Gareth Southgate wanted to study some basketball plays in terms of set piece routines and setting screens. If you can set something up on the training ground, could come off. Some contact there, and the referee points to the spot. It felt like that was some unneeded contact as Valdez was sliding in to come and take that ball. But Lacey putting pressure on this back line, a point to the spot, and a penalty coming. Maples concedes the penalty, and Minnesota United 2 will go to the spot. Their 6th penalty awarded this season, and they will have a chance to take an early lead. Cameron Lacey was the one to set the ball down. We'll see if he is the one to take this. Cameron Lacey, his 6 goals this season, trying to put Minnesota out in front. Cameron Lacey right down the middle, and the Loons lead on the road. Forcing the issue and earning the reward is Cameron Lacey. It is 1-0 to Minnesota United FC2. Cool, calm, collected, and right down the middle. And a great start here for Minnesota United 2 on the road. Lacey now up to 7 goals on the season. But 5 of his 7 goals have come against Portland Timbers too. He scored the hat trick back in early July, about 3 weeks ago. And then a month previous to that, scored a brace in the Pacific Northwest against the Timbers. His other goal coming against Vancouver Whitecaps too. He likes those Cascadia teams, but now getting one against a team from Texas. See where we go from here. This ball, trying to play it in behind. Valdez off his line. Clear this downfield. That just did stay in play. Fisher has to put it out for a throw-in. Some contact from Fisher. Evans goes down. And a free kick coming for Dynamo 2. Once again, it's Diego Gonzalez who will stand over this. Gonzalez curls it in. Great header by Fisher to get that away. And now a chance in transition for Minnesota. Lacey is all the way up ahead, making that run. It slipped ahead for Mosquera. Lacey's in the middle. It was a deflected cross and right into the arms of Valdez. Well, I asked Jeremy Hall this week about Cameron Lacey. He said, really, he's just working hard and putting himself in good spots. He said, quote, shooters shoot, and he's a shooter. He says he's clinical, team is getting in good areas and he is reaping the rewards. That play in which he earned the penalty was him making the run, putting pressure on the defense. Maples just that maybe bit of uncertainty that the goalkeeper wasn't going to get onto that ball. It was Lacey felt the contact, went to ground and earned the penalty. Fisher will let this run out for a goal kick. Now Marcus, the Swede, first season with Minnesota United. Paddleford. Roll this forward, it's broken up. And then it's taken away. Minnesota trying to go quickly here. It's floated forward. It's there for Maples to attack aerially. And here's Brooklyn Rains for Maples. Gasper. And now Soto, positive first touch. Get away from Marcus. Well, he just loses the ball instead. Game featuring two teams pretty much going in opposite directions, although both coming off wins last week. But it's Minnesota United 3-1-1 shootout loss in there as well. In their last 5, well, Houston 1-4 over their last 5 and ended that 4-game losing streak with the 2-1 win over North Texas last weekend. Maples. Broken up. There's Tate Lampman. Those young players in which Kenny Bundy has said has really pushed for more playing time, and he's been one of the regulars now on that back line. Gasper. Chase Gasper trying to cut this in. Just off the mark with Brooklyn Rains, and now he has to get back defensively. Ball played all the way through, and Lacey's onto it. Cameron Lacey. Lampman just breaking it up initially, and Maples coming back and able to clear it away. Scrambling defensively, but Houston doing what they need to do to prevent a second Minnesota United 2 goal. Once Gasper gave it away, it was just recovery runs defensively. Again, Lacey forcing the issue for Minnesota United 2. In the end, Talon Maples does very well. Being an in-swinger, just a bit too tall. Bello lays it off for Paddleford. Zaydan Bello. Mario Driscoll slides this forward. Eway cuts it in, keeps it moving. The shot was missed. Lacey couldn't get it away. Now it's Paddleford, and it's saved. Xavier Valdez equal to it. Minnesota United FC2 getting in really good spots. Great slit pass in behind. Eway just a bit strong there. He tried to cut that back. Eventually, not a bad effort there for Paddleford as he went with this side of the foot. Just trying to guide that in. They couldn't beat the goalkeeper. Lofting it forward. And this bouncing out of play. Driscoll nods it along. Maples comes to collect again for Houston. Maples advancing, finding Evans. Looks to cut it in, switch the point of attack. Great ball in! And the finish just not quite there from Papa Endoy. Evans put it right where it needed to be. Look at all that space opening up. You saw the runner come right through the middle, and that took Paddleford, which meant that Endoy was in space all alone at the back post, had a free shot, but he couldn't test Fred Emmings in goal. What an opportunity that was. Emmings sends it away. Evans there to collect for Houston. Evans, advantage being played. Endoy is asking for it, he's cutting it in. Endoy plays the square ball, it's Gonzalez! It's blocked down. Marcus able to get his body in the way. And now what can Minnesota make of this as Iwe tries to break? Bello. Paddleford now leads it forward for Minnesota. Emmings lofting it forward. Here for Iwe to attack, but Gasper got his head to it first, and Maples picks it up. Another foul. Gonzalez can set up for a set piece. Gonzalez will put this in short. Evans trying to clip this forward. Gonzalez making the run. Iwe did just enough, but this ball does stay in play. It's cut back for Zeke Soto, and it's blocked. Evans trying to run onto this. Evans! Good spell of play there, and that did take a deflection out, so it's a corner kick for Houston. Chances really starting to come thick and fast here for Dynamo 2. Here's the last chance. Good touch just to find the space there from Evans, and at the end of the day, skies it, but it did take a deflection, so a corner kick here for Dynamo 2. Towards the near post, flicked along. Fans asking for a handball that won't come. And Lampman does well to recover defensively and win it back for Houston. Here's Reigns. Right, young midfielder for this Houston Dynamo side. Rodriguez turns it back, just 15 years old. Sebastian Rodriguez holding things down in the middle. Over the top yet again at this. He'll skip out, and it's a corner kick. Should get another one here for Gonzalez to take. Third corner kick of the game with 10 minutes to go until halftime. This one all the way in. Header comes on, it was saved. Still loose. And they cleared away. Minnesota doing just enough defensively. Evans, great turn. Evans floating this in and out of play. Emmings, though, making a big intervention in this one to keep Minnesota out in front. Another look at it here. Gray and Endoy, one of them got their heads to it, and Emmings was forced into a great save down to his left. Emmings, the first homegrown signing in club history. In the academy in 2017, and O'Driscoll, who was brought down. Emmings, the 19-year-old goalkeeper from St. Paul, as you see O'Driscoll go down on the foul. Here's Marcus. Gonna lay that off, move it out wide. Khan. Downfield again. Fisher there to collect for Minnesota. Only difference in this game so far, the penalty kick scored by Cameron Lacey in the 22nd minute. He earned the penalty, and then he took the penalty, and he made the penalty. Bello keeps it moving. Bello might get it right back. Bello, before he could get the shot away, it was swept clear. All the way downfield. Eventually out for a throw-in. Infield. Khan. O'Driscoll felt some contact from behind. It's enough for a whistle. Wanted to take it quick. The referee, though, wasn't ready to put it back in play yet. Noticed by now, nearing 40 minutes, no hydration break in this first half. Soon it'll be the same in the second. Mosquera and O'Driscoll stand over this. Mosquera sends it in. The header is just wide. Khan got his head to it. Valdez goes long over the top. Header steers it off to the near side. Right through the middle, Reigns. There's a giveaway. Minnesota can look upfield. Reigns trying to recover. There's enough contact in there. Reigns whistled for the foul.
Don't let him talk to you like that.
Minnesota in control. Houston has had their chances, though, to try to equalize. 8 shots total in this game for Houston, 3 of them on target. 3 shots with 2 on target for Minnesota. O'Driscoll feeling some contact. Maples concedes the throw-in. Foul there by Eway. Go back to Houston. Valdez. Fisher. Driscoll heads it forward. Maples steps in again. A busy first half for Talon Maples. No handball. Still keep possession in the last few minutes of this first half. Opted for it again. There's some contact there. Is it enough for a whistle? It is not. Referee saying Reigns went over too easy. Played ahead. Here's Cameron Lacey. Can he get there first? He cannot. Valdez expertly sliding in. Long throw in. And this is a foul against Zidane Bello. The referee pointing for a head injury, so the training staff will come on. or Sebastian Rodriguez, who will not have to come off the field for 3 minutes because it is a head injury. Rodriguez going through the protocols. Maybe some blood as well. Look like they could be treating for a bloody nose there. It's supposed to be 1 minute of stoppage time. Maybe it's going to be 1 minute and maybe 2 minutes. But obviously they still haven't started play yet with Rodriguez being checked.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official on the sideline has indicated that there will be a minimum of 2 minutes. 2 minutes of added time into the first half. 2 minutes.
Hopefully Rodriguez can continue on here. Long stoppage. Is he trying to fix his hair? Rodriguez gets back to his feet. Got the gauze in the nose, trying to stop the bleeding. And you're a midfielder, a deep lying midfielder. You're going to get stuck into some heavy challenges. There's going to be a decent amount of contact. Rodriguez makes the walk-off. Looks like could there be a substitution coming? There's Reigns. That's a foul. Referee saying no more. It does sound like there is going to be a substitution with Charles August coming onto the field. And he will replace the youngster, Sebastian Rodriguez. Here comes Paddleford forward, and this one is steered just wide. It's out for a corner, though. It took a deflection on the way out.
Substitution, Houston Dynamo. Leaving the field, number 41, Sebastian Rodriguez. Coming into the field,
and it will be Charles August coming onto the field. Sebastian Rodriguez is the one off.
The 45th man.
And looks like that is going to be used as a concussion substitution. All the way to the back post. Gray didn't know who was behind him. It'll be another corner kick coming for Minnesota. All of a sudden, the end of this half has really been stretched out here. Another corner kick, this one bouncing in towards the near post. And the flag will come up for offside there against Juan Mosquera. There is the whistle. First half has come and gone, and Minnesota United FC2 holding the lead here at halftime at SaberCat Stadium, forcing the issue, doing just enough to get that penalty, and then Cameron Lacey stepping up and scoring it. Our score at the half is Houston 0, Minnesota 1. Well, it's been a busy week so far in the world of MLS and MLS Next Pro. Prior to the MLS All-Star Game in DC, 4 selected goalkeepers from MLS Next Pro were tasked with bringing back goalie wars. Here's Samara Perez with the recap.
I'm Samara Perez with MLS Next Pro, coming to you from Washington, D.C., and this is the 2023 Goalie Wars.
4 MLS Next Pro goalkeepers, 90 seconds on the clock to outscore your opponent. Only one will be crowned champion. Kicking things off, Huntsville City FC's Ben Martino and Crown Legacy FC's Isaac Walker, who shows off his throwing skills. His mom loves it. Isaac wins the battle of expansion team keepers. Next, Austin FC2's Damian Laws versus Dynamo 2's Xavier Valdez. He's down by 2 with 15 seconds left, but then
big chance for Xavier Valdez.
You can see the fatigue starting to set in with both of these goalkeepers, though, because this is a session that they're putting on.
At the buzzer.
MLS legend Nick Rimando hyped on the sidelines. We've got overtime where Damian's forced to win the Texas faceoff and advances to meet Isaac in the final. 2001 Goalie Wars champ Joe Cannon ready to hand off the belt. Speaking of cannons, Isaac showing off his to get off to an early lead, which he could hold on to with seconds remaining. But then another crazy finish.
Hey, Isaac Walker can just kind of salt this away. He's going to, I think, isn't he? He knows the time. Damian Lass has got to go quick.
Oh!
Does he get it?
Oh my goodness.
The crowd is stunned. We've got overtime once again. Isaac Walker keeps his focus and throws it past Damian for the win. And look at him. He's fired up. He's ready for the championship belt. Joe Cannon gives it to him and also gave him some great advice earlier.
He took our advice to a T. We said it's fairly close. You got to throw it. Try to find the corners. Be very accurate, because at the very least, you're going to get the other goalkeeper tired, and that will open things up. He did that.
And the icing on the cake, Isaac gets to share this moment with his family.
How about this? How about this? How about this? Come on now.
And that's a wrap. After a long hiatus, Goalie Wars made its return, and it did not disappoint. We had some thrilling rounds, some going into overtime, and in the end, it was Isaac Walker from Crown Legacy FC who takes home the championship belt. That's it from us from here in Washington, D.C. I'm Samara Perez signing off. We hope to see you again next year.
A thrilling experience there at Goalie Wars for all 4 of those goalkeepers. Xavier Valdez enjoyed his experience when we talked to Kenny Bundy this week, but it was Isaac Walker who ended up getting the belt, and after the event, Samara caught up with Crown Legacy's Isaac Walker.
What's up, everyone? We are joined by Isaac Walker of Crown Legacy, and now 23 Goalie Wars champion. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. I mean, this was my goal going into it, and yeah, I stuck it out, and I'm bringing this thing home to Charlotte. I'm so happy.
Amazing. What was the most difficult part?
Yeah, you know, it's making the 90 seconds seems a lot longer than just 90 seconds, you know, and sticking it out and making the saves, but also being accurate with your throws. Yeah, that was most difficult. So.
You got the chance to talk to one of the Goalie Wars champions, Joe Cannon. What advice did he give you?
He was actually the one who told me to go with the throw, and it helped out. And he was telling me, be accurate, you can take your time, slow the pace down a little bit, and I did just that, and he won. I guess he knows a thing or two, huh? Yeah?
For you, what was going through your mind on that last play, and what was your
Halftime here from SaberCat Stadium in Houston. 1-0 in favor of Minnesota United over Houston Dynamo 2. Well, stay tuned. Next week, we'll show you some of the behind-the-scenes footage and some of the competition footage with special cameras our goalies were wearing during the All-Star Challenge. Should be pretty cool. But earlier this week, the MLS Next Pro Invitational began from Salt Lake City with Rapids 2 and Real Monarchs in action. It continues on Monday with Real Monarchs taking on Hoffenheim under 23. And Tuesday, the Invitational finishes with Whitecaps 2 facing Crystal Palace under 21. Wrexham AFC faced off against LA Galaxy 2 last night. And now Wrexham heads east to face Philadelphia Union 2 in the hometown of celebrity co-owner Rob McElhenney on Friday, July 28th. These matches will air exclusively on MLSNextPro.com. And of course, Michelle, she is in Salt Lake covering the MLS Next Pro Invitational, and she looks back at the best from Matchday 17 with this week's edition of The Spotlight.
With seconds remaining, but then another crazy finish.
Matchday 17.
Hey, Isaac Walker can just kind of salt this away.
Giving you your guys in the spotlight here from Salt Lake City. We got to start with your MLS Next rising star, Union 2's Luciano Sanchez. Now, this is not his first time winning the award. It actually comes just 2 weeks after his first MLS Next rising star recognition. Sanchez has earned a reputation as a late goal specialist. Well, in Union 2's game against Red Bulls 2, his goal in the 84th minute clinched his team's 7th win of the season. And we told you we're here in Salt Lake City. Well, so is your MLS Next Pro Player of the Match Day for Week 17. Rapids 2's Oliver Larraz earned the honor for his exceptional performance against the home team here in Utah, Real Monarchs. He not only scored a goal right before half, he also provided a beautiful assist to Remy Cabral. And while Larraz was a nominee for Best Goal of the Match Day, the honor actually went to the teammate of Sanchez. Union 2's Jeremy Raffanello launched a rocket off a high ball header and sailed it right over the heads of everyone that stood between him and the back of the net. Raffanello slightly edged out OCB's Wilfredo Rivera with a 48-45% margin. And speaking of Orlando City B, they are your team of the match day for Week 17. Despite going down a man, the Central Florida squad mounted a brilliant comeback against Atlanta United 2 with just 10 men on the pitch. It concluded with Rivera's game winner that was undeniably one of the most shocking goals you'll see all season. Congratulations to all of our players in the spotlight this week. Trust me when I tell you we'll have a lot to choose from next week with all of the MLS Next Pro action coming to you from Salt Lake City and from Washington, D.C. I'm Michelle Montaigne. We'll see you soon.
Halftime here from SaberCat Stadium in Houston. 1-0 in favor of Minnesota United 2 as they have the advantage on the road. Well, coming into today, we had 3 matches already in the books in match day 18. Let's take a look at some of the highlights.
Abeda Reda taps it in. An opportunity. Cuts in. The shot. Pumped home. Antonoglu. Catavolo. Lays it off. Walks by the goalkeeper. Stefanovic lifts it back in. Excellence from the home side. Felipe Valencia working the wrong way. Ball lost. This is Walks with numbers in the box. Right to him. Bong! By a goal in the first. Batiste wants a goal for himself, and he has at it. A turn. Altabelli has it blocked away. The second chance. Bullets it home.
Ty Marshall starting lineup, and notice on the left, only 4 substitutes available for this game. His previous game, a loss at Philadelphia. 4 changes to the starting lineup. Boston University, so the Horton name. Next line, and the legacy is almost a huge mistake here, and the opener gifted to New York. I think this is one of those games where neither team really wanted the bulk of possession. And here's Stitz playing in Horton, and that's going to be a red card. Pull down from behind is Jaden Reed, and Reed is off. Laid back for Shapiro Thompson. Slips it in here for Mascara. Mascara puts it across, and Sabufu puts it in! And then hosting TFC midweek before the match against Columbus. But for tonight, they'll focus on this one.
Now let's look at the starting 11 for Benny Fallhaber and his side with Sporting Kansas City 2. They're 4-3-3. Now North Texas, free a bit. Avayevu slips it backwards. The cross slipped in. Oh my goodness! Enzo Maurice. Back to Draper. Cruz onside. Antonio Carrera trying to keep the score level. He cannot. Josh Cohen cashes in on the mistake from North Texas. Still a chance for North Texas. Rose, Avayevu. And that's the last of it here at Choctaw Stadium.
Looking at what is to come this week in MLS Next Pro, of course, we mentioned the couple of games on Monday and Tuesday in the MLS Next Pro Invitational, Real Monarchs and Hoffenheim, and then Crystal Palace and Whitecaps 2. But before all of that, tomorrow 7 p.m. Eastern Time, MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. It is Columbus and Philadelphia. That should be a good one. And then on Friday, gets going right again, as of course Philadelphia Union 2 will play host to Wrexham AFC. The Welsh side will be coming stateside after their game against LA Galaxy 2 yesterday. They'll take to the field one more time in the United States to take on Philadelphia Union 2, and plenty of other good action coming your way on Friday and Saturday, including Dynamo 2 nest in action against Real Monarchs. Minnesota back at home to take on San Jose on Saturday night. But looking back at the first 45 minutes, here are halftime highlights. Plenty of good action, as this was the first big chance of the game for Houston. This would be another opportunity from Evans right outside the area. Maybe a few half chances at the end of the day for Houston Dynamo 2 in that first half. This would be a foul. Nothing doing, but this would be the moment the game would change. Naples right through the back of Cameron Lacey, and then Cameron Lacey right down the chute. Scores from the spot, and Minnesota was able to take a lead by a goal to nil in the 22nd minute. Lacey put it away. And that is where we stand here going into the second 45 minutes. There would be more opportunities, though, for Minnesota. They had a good spell right in the middle of that first half. This would eventually come out to Devin Paddleford, who was able to put a shot on frame, but it was right at the goalkeeper. As we look at our halftime stats, possession just in favor of Houston, but the shots have gone Houston's direction. Minnesota has come forward when they've needed to in transition, but they've been solid defensively, as they have been over these past few weeks, as they look to continue that coming into this second half, looking for another clean sheet if they can get it here in half number 2. We welcome you back here to SaberCat Stadium in Houston, Texas. 1-0 in favor of Minnesota United FC2 over Houston Dynamo 2. I'm Josh Eastern. Thanks so much for joining us on MLSNextPro.com for this one here tonight. 45 more minutes for Houston to try to come back. Remember, they did not lose a home game all of last year. They are looking to avoid a 5th defeat already on their home field here tonight. There's the whistle, and away we go. 45 more minutes. Minnesota looking for another win here tonight. It would be a 2nd straight win and a 3rd in the last 4 games. They can get a clean sheet. It would also be 5 clean sheets out of 6. Remember, this Houston side put 4 goals past Minnesota when these two teams played a few weeks ago, including 3 goals in the opening 17 minutes of that game. O'Driscoll scored the lone goal for Minnesota on that night before it was the youngster who unfortunately had to come off in this game, Sebastian Rodriguez. He scored in the 89th minute. And remember, Jose LaFleur, he picked up his 2nd yellow in that game, which means he misses today's game because of the red card rule, where if you pick up a card against an opponent, you miss that next game against the same opponent. Gray to throw it back in. Keep this alive in the corner. It's a foul against Houston. A free kick Minnesota's direction. On a note for Houston Dynamo 2 as well, the goal that Minnesota scored was the 23rd goal that Houston has conceded this season. They had conceded only 22 goals all of last season. That number has already been passed here in 2023. Kenny Bundy saying, of course, you want to try to post those same numbers, but with so many moving pieces and parts, Mujib Marana has mostly featured with the first team now this year. And it's been a bit of a rotation at the back. They've changed the formation a bit, but they're back to a back 4 here today. Talon Maples, Papa Entoy dribbles out of that. Talon Maples has been a man back there pretty much the entire season. And joined by Tate Lampman, but things still coming together a bit on that back line for Houston. But they'll have a set piece here in a good attacking spot. Gonzalez was cut down. A set piece coming for Dynamo 2 early in this 2nd half. Just getting tangled up there. Papa Endoy is the one standing over this, and you wonder maybe if he has his sight on goal here. Caught about 28 yards out. Endoy strides up, he goes for goal, it's a nice save. Fred Emmings able to get across the goal mouth to push this one away. A good stop there. Bouncing in front definitely gave Emmings something to contend with there. But a good effort from Endoy. Remember, hasn't scored since the first weekend of June. It's been a bit of a goal drought. As Gonzalez serves, immediately headed away. Gonzalez will get another chance. August to the end line. Good body positioning there by Jeremy Rodas, and the Honduran is able to see it out. gave you a score update from that Rapids 2, Austin 2 game. Remember, it was 3-0 at halftime in favor of Austin. Colorado stormed back, scored 3 unanswered goals to tie it at 3-3, and then took the extra point in the shootout. Eric Boucher's side just continues to impress in the Western Conference, as they have now extended their lead at the top of the West to 8 points over Austin FC2. Rains plays the square ball for Evans. Evans! This one over the bar. Again, trying to take that from distance. Not the first time we've seen that today. Going back to Colorado and Austin for a moment. Seems like everybody's going to be chasing Colorado this season. They're up to 45 points. They've also played one less game than Austin. And Colorado 45 points through 18 games. For Crown Legacy, they're the leaders in the East. They got 3 points today against NYCFC2. 44 points in 19 games. So right now, best team in the league is in the Western Conference. That is Colorado Rapids 2. Valdez has to get this out of harm's way. Belford touches it infield, but there's some contact, and it looks like a yellow card will be coming. Yellow card is going to Papa Endoy. Endoy just getting tangled up there. Paddleford just maybe a bit too much, a bit clumsy coming through the back of the left back.
Number 7, Houston Dynamo.
Now it's O'Driscoll and Mosquera who stand over in this set piece. Mosquera whips this ball across, free header, and it's steered wide. What a chance for Cameron Lacey to find a second goal today. You are not going to get a header on a set piece like that too often. A great chance there. Not quite meant to be. Coming forward, it's Bello. Putting this one out of play. Good effort, though, from Zaydan Bello, Australian. Loading this downfield and out of play. Long switch of play. Gasper ahead for Brooklyn Rains. Rains hesitating and moving it across. Gonzalez for Endoy. Papa Endoy scores! It was a great first touch to set it up, and he left no doubts about the finish. It's his first goal in over a month and a half, and he finds the equalizer for Houston. Papa Endoy back amongst the goals for Houston Dynamo 2. Great ball slipped in there by Gonzalez. Endoy, that touch around the corner, and then he was able to muscle Paddleford off the ball. That is a great individual effort from Endoy. And he is on the score sheet today for Houston. Clean sheet streak is over for Minnesota as well. And it looks like some subs as well. Jathan Juarez looking like he is preparing to come on. Remember, that sub in the first half was a concussion sub, which means that Minnesota does get an extra sub as well. So this is technically the first window that Houston is using. And they'll use it to put in Juarez. Chase Gasper coming off.
May I have your attention, please? Houston
Gasper
Dynamo
using this
substitution at the 54th
opportunity to
minute.
get some minutes. Mostly a first-team player as Houston looks to come forward here again. The overlap, now looking for something to come centrally. It did deflect off a Houston player last. It is out for a goal kick. Juarez, 19-year-old from San Antonio, in his second season with Dynamo 2. Comes on for the final 30 minutes plus. Ray just lost his balance a bit, but at least that ball stayed in play. Gonzalez. And now it's Paddleford rolling this in behind. Mosquera throws the brakes on and keeps this in play. It's a run through for Bello. Now it's Paddleford. Good interplay here from Minnesota. Bello, square ball, chipped ahead, nothing doing. Maybe a chance in transition for Houston. There haven't been too many of these opportunities. Zeke Soto just able to hold it. Cuts it back, Soto. Gonzalez. Assist on the goal. Endoy who scored it. Endoy just wide. Getting the attention there of Emmings. Was going to take no chances. Another look, this one though bouncing just wide of that post. Said on the other side, Cameron Lacey, shooter shoot. I think the same can be said now for Papa Endoy. He is that goal, he's feeling confident. He was looking for a second. Lampman, cool under pressure. 16-year-old academy product. First season here in MLS Next Pro. He's fitting right in. Kenny Bundy saying he's really made some progressions. Hard to take him out of the lineup. A little more defending to do here as this is played into the corner. Lacey. Lacey floating this in. Xavier Valdez is there. Evans. Endoy. Papa Endoy, chance to get the shot away. That ball just ran away from his foot. He couldn't quite get the shot away. Paddleford right back the other way looking for Mosquera. Lampman cool under pressure again, picks out the right pass. Long over the top yet again. The flag is up for offside. Ahead. Houston able to win this back quickly. take advantage of getting that equalizing goal, maybe trying to go on and get a second. Houston able to pick this up. There was some contact behind the play, but here come Dynamo 2, the back heel, and Fisher able to get it away. There was some contact there in the middle. Looked like Khan had held on to one of the Houston players. Now Melvin Rivas will have a word with Jesse Khan. Tuck this in and now cuts it right back out. Bouncing out for a goal kick. 15 minutes gone. Another foul. Minnesota wants to go quick with it. Bello, pivot point in the middle. Now Paddleford, as looks like some Minnesota subs preparing to come on. Paddleford just lifts this towards goal. Easy there for Valdez. Advancing forward, Maples off to the far side. Brooklyn Reigns. It's been a good battle in the middle. Khan and Bello, along with O'Driscoll, going up against the likes of Brooklyn Reigns. It was Sebastian Rodriguez in there at that pivot point in the middle. Now it's August. Good battles, and Evans has also been a solid component of that. Here's Endoy. Papa Endoy cutting this in, trying to lay it off. August off to the far side. It comes back for Evans. Jacob Evans taking off the ball. There's Omar Gray, just getting a touch on it to prevent another counterattacking opportunity. Something that Kenny Bundy said, talked about in the first half, giving the ball away in wide areas. You can't do it. This time, though, they do get a foul, and Mosquera will have his name taken. And subs coming. Another look at it here. Mosquera, that's bit unnecessary. So Diogo Pacheco, Cage Romanshin will be coming on. Pacheco with 8 goals, 4 assists this year. Romanshin with 1 assist. Will be Khan coming off.
May I have your attention, please? Substitution of Minnesota United FC2. Leaving the field, number 42. Emmanuel
Iwe will also be coming off the field. First 2 subs of the game for Minnesota. As Gonzalez stands over the set piece, lifts this one in. Fisher was up for it, and Bello will carry this out.
Malik Khan. Coming into the field, number 65, Keith Lamanchine.
Taken away. Endoy touches it in field. Here's Soto. Holds play up and moves it out wide. Enjoy, the goal scorer. The overlapping run from Gray, who cuts it back on the turn. And they couldn't get the shot away. Soto was waiting in the middle. Lampman steps forward. He'll get it back. Tate Lampman. Now here's Omar Gray all the way back. It's been a tighter and tenser second half. The pressure's really been on Minnesota to do quite a bit more defending as well. Touch foul there, and you can hear and see the reaction from the Houston bench. Pushing and shoving there in the middle as Minnesota carries on. Paddleford. Mosquera, can he turn the corner? He cuts it back. There was a chance to attack it there for Lacey, but it was maybe just a bit too far behind him. Touchdown of play. The referee will stop play. He wants to have a word with a couple of midfielders first. Let's take a look. This last play, yeah, was just behind Lacey's. He couldn't quite get his feet sorted. Possession much more in favor now of Houston. It was about 50-50 at halftime. Is raised a little bit more there for Dynamo 2. Chance to break and slip this in behind. Mosquera's in. Mosquera saved. Xavier Valdez, a big stop. The threat still not gone. Back into the middle and over the bar. Houston thought there was a foul there in the lead up to that second chance. It's out for a goal kick. Boy, what a chance that was. Juan Mosquera, see the whites of the goalkeeper's eyes. And maybe they thought Houston, there was a foul against Romanshin there. It was cut back for Lacey. It was, though, a bit of a heavy first touch, and that really ruined that opportunity. Evans. Moves it out wide. Still trying to cut that in was Brooklyn Reigns. And then two Houston players run into each other. And Romanshin will just slow things down. A couple step overs. Cutting this in, the shot is saved! Two big saves for Xavier Valdez. And this will carry him out of play. Diogo Pacheco, really his first big intervention. Pacheco cutting in on that left foot. Great shot there, and at full stretch, Valdez able to keep it out. Now the corner kick. Lifted in, more towards the top of the area. Settled and moved out wide. The cross, flicked header, comes back into the middle and bouncing towards Valdez. Gonzalez for Evans. Long switch of play. It's Mon Mosquera. Lampman again coming over to clear that away. It's been a strong second half from the youngster Lampman. Of course, Lampman part of that MLS Next All-Star game this past week in Annapolis, Maryland, featuring some of the best youngsters across the various MLS academies, many of them who have featured in MLS Next Pro. Here comes Houston. This cross floated in. Paddleford just nods it out. It'll be a corner. Gonzalez will stand over the corner kick. Gonzalez floats this in, back post. There's a whistle, and that did go behind the line. And out for a goal kick.
May I have your attention, please? The 72-minute substitution, Houston Dynamo. Leaving the field, number 7.
That'll be the end of the day for the goal scorer, Papa Ndoye. Strong performance for Ndoye. It'll be Isaiah Reed to come on. Well, the referee getting on with it, not taking the sub at that moment, but it will be Ndoye for Reed at next moment. Paddleford plays the square ball, the shot, and it's just taken in by Valdez. Pacheco coming in off that right side yet again. Found the middle. They will actually change the sub. So it's going to be Isaiah Reed still coming on, but it's going to be Zeke Soto who will make way. 16-year-old, his day is done.
Correction in the Houston Dynamo substitution. Leaving the field, number 44, Zeke Soto. Again, correction.
So Reed comes on, his 2 goals so far this season in his second season with Dynamo 2. Going back to Tate Lampman, who was named to the MLS Next All-Star game. It's a pretty good contingent of Houston players in DC, or at least in the DC area. Of course, with the next All-Star game taking place in Annapolis, the Naval Academy. And of course, it was also Hector Herrera participating in the All-Star game, Xavier Valdez, Goalie Wars. Pretty cool week for the Houston Dynamo club in general. Not very many teams had 3 players represented. Weave through traffic, and then the switch was off the mark. Gray just did keep it in play. 15 minutes to go in this one. Will there be a decisive goal? Or will we need a shootout to decide it? Juarez, he was pushed down, free kick, and a yellow card. Mikhail Marcus into the book.
May I have your attention, please? At the 76th minute, yellow card caution has been issued to number 6, Minnesota United FC, number 6, Mikhail Marquez.
And it looks like Jacob Evans will be the one to stand over this set piece opportunity. Big chance for Houston to try to nudge out in front here. This one whipped in, some traffic in there. Emmings punches it away. A missed clearance there at the top will keep it alive. August. Papa Endoy. Evans pops up and keeps it alive. And it's a foul against Evans. Minnesota has never beaten Houston. 3 wins and then a draw. It's a 1-1 draw in the first ever meeting between these two. Minnesota did take the extra point in that game. That was last season. Remember, Houston put 4 past Minnesota on June 11th.
First right call you made in a whole half.
Tough crowd here in Houston as Gonzalez carries on. Gonzalez fouled. It's a yellow card. And that is a red card. Juan Mosquera is done. And Minnesota down to 10 men. Another look at it. Really just an unnecessary challenge put in there by Mosquera.
To Minnesota United FC, number 46, Juan Mosquera. Again, 46, red card rejection to Juan Mosquera, Minnesota United FC.
The set piece coming, and Minnesota down a man. Look at all this space for Evans. This is deflected out of play by O'Driscoll. I wonder if that was something maybe drawn up. He had come over, Evans, to have a word with Kenny Bundy, and then when he was ready to put the ball in play, he made a darting run down the line. Maybe that's just wishful thinking, but it nearly worked out. Here comes the corner. It's floated in and punched away. O'Driscoll keeps it moving, but out for a throw-in. Gray, long throw. Headed out to midfield. Reigns turning the corner. Brooklyn Reigns moves it out wide. Shooting chance, low shot blocked down. Comes out for Evans. He's looking for space on the near side, and it's blocked down by Paddleford. August all over Bello, and he knew what he was getting himself into there. It's a yellow card.
May I have your attention, please? At the 80th minute, yellow card caution has been issued to number 6, Houston Dynamo. Charles August. The 80th minute.
Rolled in behind, Lacey. This will run out of play. Endoy battling with Paddleford. It's been a good matchup tonight. Broken up and turned over. Slipped ahead and just too far for Isaiah Reed. And Emmings is there. Minnesota just trying to hold on here maybe down the stretch and earn a point on the road. It'd be a hard-fought point earned here on the road. Remember, we said coming into play today, these two teams sitting in 6th and 7th places in the MLS Next Pro Western Conference. In the live standings, it actually is Houston now in 8th spot based on some other results today, with San Jose currently out in front of St. Louis. To turn the corner. Fisher, good defending there, concedes the corner. He'll take it, and so will Houston.
How old are you? What's your favorite Gatorade? Please, I gotta know.
Play it short, just does come off. Cutting this in, back for Evans. Looking for the centering feed, and cleared away.
I'm gonna call you zero from hold.
Good move there by Paddleford. O'Driscoll, and now Bello, and space opening up. Romanshin keeps it moving, quick passing all the way out in front. It's going to be chased down. Lacey does just keep this in play. Back for O'Driscoll. There may be something on here for Minnesota. Have to be careful not to get caught in transition. This is floated across, looking for Pacheco. Houston able to win this back. Gray lost it, cutting in field. Hustle back defensively as Bello leads the break. Diogo Pacheco. He's been the man to turn to in terms of goal scoring mostly this year. Space for Paddleford. It was closed down quickly by Lampman. Paddleford tripped up. Or so we thought, and it's out of play.
May I have your attention, please? At the 85th minute. Leaving the field.
Couple of subs.
From Minnesota United FC.
First for Minnesota, Carlos Leatherman will be coming on. Now it'll be the end of the day for Papa Endoy as well. It'll be Joseph Faruz coming on. It'll also be Paulo Rios
Houston Dynamo, the substitution.
Endoy off. And the other one is Brooklyn Reigns.
Leaving the field, number 7, coming into the field, number 27, Joseph.
Carlos Leatherman for Cameron Lacey, the goal scorer. All 5 subs have now been exhausted from Kenny Bundy in Houston. 3 subs have been utilized for Minnesota. Actually, there is still one more window available for Houston based on the concussion sub that was used in the first half. As this cross comes in, harmless in the end.
Also, Dynamo does substitution. Leaving the field, number 15, Brooklyn Reigns. Coming into the field, number 24, Pablo Reyes, at the 86th minute.
Here's Lampman. Back for Valdez. We're running out of play. It's been a tightly contested match so far. Not a whole lot to split these two. Distribution and starting this attack for Houston. Evans. Rios trying to clip that forward. Instead, August picks it up. Here's Rios. Deflected cross. It's a corner kick coming for Houston. 2 minutes and change to go, and then, of course, stoppage time. Play this short. Flipping this in. Heads go up. It was too tall for Gray. Paddleford will get there. It's a throw-in, though, going Minnesota's direction. Chance here for Houston. Can they win this late? Big collision in front. That's Emmings, the goalkeeper. He was clattered into. Another look here. He's played centrally and just trying to lunge for that ball was Joseph Ferruz. The youngster went right into Emmings. And now Emmings needs some assistance here. Thumbs up. Just needs a moment to collect himself here. An injury late in the half now in both halves. See how that affects stoppage time. It's supposed to be 3 minutes. Hemmings is still being tended to. We can show you how we got to this point. Bearing down on potential shootout, but it was a penalty all the way back in the 20th minute. A couple minutes later, Cameron Lacey right down the middle. And that got Minnesota on the board first. But then, come the second 45 minutes, there would be a response from Houston Dynamo 2. Of course, Lacey gets his 7th goal on the season. Still one behind Diego Pacheco for the team lead. And then Papa Ndoye just muscling his way towards goal and then providing the finish as well. A great finish it was. And that was the equalizer in the 54th minute. The assist from Diego Gonzalez, his 3rd assist of the season. Is good for 2nd on the team behind Isaiah LaFleur, who has 4 assists. So Hemmings back on his feet. Floated forward and nodded along. Here comes Houston. Not much time left in the 3 minutes of stoppage time. We might get a few more seconds than that. The shot blocked down and cleared. Pacheco brought down. It's a yellow card. And that will go to Talon Maples. MLS Next Pro Best 11 player from a year ago.
Houston Dynamo, number 4. Talon Maples.
Let's roll the dice here. That's not going to get it done. Here's Gray. Gray's cross, really aiming at nobody. Though Evans might get there, some contact. Right on the edge of the area, but it was last off of Evans and out for a goal kick. Hemmings taking his time to put this back in play. Hemmings sends this away. Minnesota, they've won 1 shootout this year. Maybe trying to avoid it late on. Some contact. Where was this? Just outside the area. Inches outside the area. As the referee puts the spray down on the outside of the box. Another look here. Lampman. That is a risky challenge this late in the game.
May I have your attention, please? Yellow card caution has been issued to Houston Dynamo, number 42, Tate.
Well, now, one more chance for Minnesota to win this late. Back to the game earlier this year against Colorado where Houston couldn't hold the late results. Minnesota trying to do the same. O'Driscoll off the wall. O'Driscoll again lifts this in. Valdez swoops in to take it. And that is it. We have reached full time here, but we are not done yet. It's a point apiece, at least, for these two sides. But we will go to kicks from the mark to see who gets the extra point here today in Houston. A hard-fought game. Minnesota scoring in the first half. Houston coming back and scoring in the second half. Well, because we are going to a shootout, of course, MLS Next Pro has a unique feature when the score is tied after 90 minutes. Michelle and Samara have more on what is to come.
Regulation, 1 point for a tie, and 0 points for a loss in regulation. A club will earn 2 points if the game ends in a tie and they go on to win the shootout that Samara just explained following the end of regulation.
Well, that is what is to come. A shootout is coming up here from SaberCat Stadium in Houston. So glad you can be with us here on MLSNextPro.com. A dramatic finish here to this one. Now, these two teams, the first ever meeting, did play to a 1-1 draw back on Saturday, May 14th of last year. It was Maples who scored the first goal in that game for Houston. Minnesota responded through Azil Jackson, who was in Minnesota colors at that point in his career. And then it was Minnesota to win 5-4 in the shootout. Diogo Pacheco, he scored one of the penalties for Minnesota, while it was Diego Gonzalez, he scored one of the shots for Houston. Now we'll see who gets the extra point here tonight. And of course, with everything as tight as it is in the standings in the Western Conference, these extra points, they can really add up. We'll see who can get the job done here tonight. Of course, Minnesota, they have one shootout win this year out of 4 attempts. Houston, they are 2 for 2. Houston taking down North Texas and LAFC2 for their lone shootout victories. And of course, on the other side for Minnesota, their last shootout came against St. Louis. They lost that one. They also lost to Tacoma, but they did beat Chicago in a shootout after that 3-3 draw. You talk to so many coaches around the league and they say, well, if you lose one of these, it almost feels like you're walking off the field with a loss. Obviously you're not, you still take a point from the game, and I'm sure coming on the road, many teams would take a point away from home, but it's kind of that mental part of this where it can be tough to have to get on the bus and the plane to go home after you just lost a shootout at the end. We'll see how this one transpires to close this Sunday evening off in MLS Next Pro. Still a couple of other games going on. Two goalkeepers walking side by side. And it looks like it will be Diogo Pacheco to take the first penalty or kick of the night here for Minnesota. Pacheco, 8 goals, 4 assists this season. It's almost surpassed both of his totals from last year, where he had 3 goals and 5 assists. His second season, Pacheco out of Akron, which of course is where his coach played his college soccer, Cameron Knowles, at Akron. The first kick from the mark will go to Pacheco. Pacheco against Xavier Valdez to start off this shootout. Pacheco to get us started. And Pacheco scores. Puts it right in the corner.
Goal, Minnesota United.
A good start here for Minnesota as Pacheco converts. And into the bottom corner. Next man up, and the first kick for Houston. It's going to be Jacob Evans in his second pro season. 2 goals, 2 assists for the Englishman. Here's Evans, and Evans converts. It's 1-1 after 1. Search for the extra point here tonight. Evans clinical right into the corner. Now a chance for Zaydan Bello, and he puts it in the corner, and Minnesota is 2 for 2 to start off this shootout. Puts it right where it needed to go. And now Houston trying to respond with Diego Gonzalez. The assist tonight on the goal to Papa Ndoye. Gonzalez staring down Emmings. And Gonzalez converts with authority as well. A great take from Gonzalez, and it's 2-2 after 2. Who's going to blink first?
Diego Gonzalez.
Well taken penalty there. And now it's Rory O'Driscoll. Trying to keep Minnesota perfect. O'Driscoll converts. Calm right down the middle. 3 for 3 is Minnesota. And a good showing here so far through 3 rounds. And Houston again will have to respond. This is Paulo Rios. Long run up here for Rios. Came on in the second half. Rios scores, just slips it under the hands of Emmings. It's 3-3 after 3.
Number 24.
Just enough pace behind it to beat Emmings down to that bottom corner. You're also seeing kicks from the mark in Leagues Cup, which is a nice little wrinkle to that new competition as well. And now it's Devin Paddleford. Paddleford scores. Minnesota has been clinical on these penalties, 4 for 4. time going to the goalkeeper's right, and Valdez couldn't keep it out. Pressure's always on the kick takers here. Isaiah Reed, who came on as a second half substitute. He'll step up and converts. 4 for 4, and it's sudden death from here on out.
Houston Dynamo dogs the winner.
Well taken there by Isaiah Reed. A couple of goals this year. He has Houston level in this kicks from the mark. And now the youngster, Britton Fisher. Fisher scores! Steps up and converts. The 19-year-old. Well taken penalty. Valdez guessed the right way, couldn't keep it out. And now it's all up to Houston and Charles August. He makes we go to a 6th round. August, it's saved! Emmings earns the extra point for Minnesota. They will take the 2 points back to Minneapolis, St. Paul. And Minnesota United FC2 win 5-4 in kicks from the mark. Not a lot to split these two teams here tonight. There was just 1 point separating them in the standings.
Thank you again for all
And Minnesota has extended now that distance between them and Houston out to 2 points. Houston takes a point out of this. Minnesota will take 2. And of course, tonight's man of the match presented by Adidas, so it has to be Fred Emmings. A great save there to end kicks from the mark. August tried the little hop step right before, didn't quite work out, and Fred Emmings is our man of the match presented by Adidas. Well, that will do it for our coverage tonight. A great one between Houston and Minnesota. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Josh Eastern. Once again, our final score. Houston won, Minnesota won, but Minnesota wins it 5-4 after kicks from the mark. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and right here at MLSNextPro.com. Good night from Houston.
This copyrighted broadcast of MLS Next Pro may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcasted without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.